What's up, Ramblers? Your favorite CEO is back. And before we begin today's podcast, make sure you hit the subscribe button to never miss an episode. And follow Assistance HQ and Offsource HQ across all platforms to stay up to date on the latest content, updates, and more. And remember, if you need a virtual assistant, visit us at offsource.tech. Now, before we begin, a word from our sponsor. Hey guys, welcome back to another wonderful episode of The Ramblings. I'm your host, Angelo Roberts, and I have today with us Rhonda Neal. She is the Executive Director of the St. Joseph's Parenting Center. How are you doing today? Introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. My name is Rhonda Neal, Executive Director of St. Joseph Parenting Center. And Angelo, it's a pleasure to be on your show.
It's absolutely wonderful to have you. And I think we're going to have another amazing episode today. So before we officially get into things, as we know, you are the executive director. However, let's get into a little bit of your background. Why are we listening to you? Where do you come from? Give us your story.
So my little elevator speech is that I was born in Miami, raised in Massachusetts, and been living in Connecticut for the last, I don't want to date myself, but maybe 20, 30 years or so. So I consider myself, a resident of Connecticut. My background is that I've always loved business. My dad was in business. He was an executive with IBM. My mom was a teacher, did not want to be a teacher, but I respected her profession. And when I went away to college, I majored in business, got an MBA, and fell in love with the Lord and got a master's degree in biblical studies. And I've always had a passion for empowering people, probably because I'm a woman of color and I know some of the barriers that have been erected to keep me back and down. And so I welcome the challenge to learn and grow and to defy the statistics. So here I am.
That is extremely interesting. Now, we've never had anyone that I would say has been a major or had their particular expertise within biblical studies. That, I would say, does not immediately correlate with business. So where do you have your love for business, but also your love for the Lord? How is that your balance in terms of how you go about things?
Yes. So very early on, I learned that, hard work and strength only take you but so far. And a lot of times, people have networks that also help them. But what do you do when you are frustrated, alone? No one can understand, no one can identify where you are in your journey. And that began to kind of open up my mind to receiving at least some knowledge about God. And I did a search because I hit a brick wall. And I came out learning that I don't have to go this journey alone, that God will order my step. God has ordered my steps and he will lead me and guide me. Not that the path will be rosy, but the journey will be worthwhile. And as long as I stay focused on uplifting his people, he shows amazing favor towards my plight. So I've learned to embrace God as my partner in the work that I do. And that has helped me tremendously dealing with challenges, dealing with stress, dealing with strained relationships. I've learned to love my way through some hard situations. And so I take God with me wherever I go.
That's absolutely beautiful. Now, working at St. Joseph's Parenting Center, that actually really much aligns with what you were just saying. However, at least within the business world, and I'm sure you've probably experienced this during your come up, is that in business, sometimes it's very much hard elbows. At least that's what it used to be. Now it's becoming a lot more softer. However, when people think about business, they don't necessarily think about nonprofit. What made you go into the nonprofit industry?
Because I got tired of helping rich people make more money. And there's so many people that need help. They're not looking for a handout. They're looking for some help, some real help. And it was just very dissatisfying. It was almost repulsive. um, that we could generate so much wealth and liquid sustain on people who do not have the access to the same resources. And so for me, I think it's the best of both worlds, integrating business and nonprofit, because you run a nonprofit like a business. You have marketing, you have programs, you have finance. So the foundation of a nonprofit is business. The difference is, in most cases, nonprofits, they provide a service to empower people who are at the lower socioeconomic rung of the ladder. And so that gives me great satisfaction. I'm tired, but I'm satisfied.
Listen, it is very hard work working within the nonprofit. As they say, it's almost like you do it for hugs and kisses in some instances. However, I'd love to kind of get into, what does St. Joseph's Parenting Center do? Give us a little bit of background about how they kind of started and what your role is and what goes on there.
Yeah. So St. Joseph Parenting Center was actually, the first location was in Ohio, and it was created by Kathy Klee, who responded to an epidemic where children were being abused at alarming rates. And when she started St. Joseph Parenting Center, there's a woman named Mizzy O'Rourke who worked with her. And Mizzy was so moved by this experience. Mizzy's background is that she's a nurse, and she understands the value and the importance of nurturing and caring for your child. She has 5 children herself. When she moved back, she's originally from the East Coast, but when she moved back, she decided to open up a St. Joseph Parenting Center with $50,000. We are a we are a, oh, what's the word? I don't know why I'm having a blank. You can cut this part out, right?
I listen, editing is a beautiful thing.
Oh God, what is the word? We are a non-secular nonprofit. So even though it says St. Joseph Parenting Center, there's a backstory behind that, but we are not a religious program. We are a human service program.
Okay, hold on. I'd like to kind of break into that, because I don't know if you know, I grew up different religion in that particular sense. However, my schooling was parochial, which for a lot of people that don't know is private non-secular schooling, which is essentially a fancy term for Catholic school. So I'm very much understanding of like there's St. Joseph's, like they have parish, which is why you see me sometimes confused like parish and the parenting center.
Yeah.
how what's the difference, for those that don't know, the difference between a St. Joseph's the parenting center as it being non-secular versus something being in like part of the religious organization? Like the YMCA is religious to a degree.
Yeah, we're not affiliated with any religious organization. We're purely a service organization for the people, regardless. So we didn't want to narrow our opportunity, because child abuse and neglect affects everyone. I don't care how much. I don't care if you're from Park Ave or Park Bench. I've seen cases run the gamut. So we don't want to exclude people based on religion, and we're not a place where we proselytize. We're a place where actually our mission is to strengthen families that are at risk of child abuse and neglect. And we strengthen them by providing parenting education and resource support. So that's our mission. And the bridge version is we educate the parent to protect the child. So that's what we do. We provide parenting education. I mean, how about that? A novel idea, parenting education. I mean, we have education for academics. We have education if you want to be a car mechanic. We have education if you want to do arts. We have education if you want to do the sciences. But very rarely do you hear parenting yet. You know, I want to say 60% of the population have children.
Very true. Now, I kind of want to break down and get into your role a little bit. You're the executive director at St. Joseph's Parenting Center, and I'd like to know, is it was it the role that attracted you? Were you, say, an executive director already looking to be in another executive director position? Or was it something about the, St. Joseph's Parenting Center, the role or anything in general, their mission that attracted you specifically?
Yeah, all the above. Except I wasn't an executive. Actually, I was the manager of outreach of another organization, but I created and ran the organization,
Oh.
um, the whole outreach department. So I did come with some, leadership experience.
Mhm.
What attracted me, I was at a crossroad with my old job, and I was looking for a growth opportunity. And when I saw St. Joseph Parenting Center and saw how um, they believe in the power of family, and I know that I could not be where I am without family. And
Mm.
at the time, my dad, who was like my hero, was slowly when the former executive director, now board
Hold on
member,
real quick. Go back for a sec. We happen to lose you. You kind of pause for a sec. Just we can.
oh yeah, because I see, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, yeah, I saw if something came across like an internet connection, um, dysfunction. I don't even know where I left off at.
You were, at least from what I heard, it was you were talking about your father in regards to him being
Oh
your
yes,
hero.
yes. So the reason why I pursued this was because I was looking for a role that would challenge and stretch and grow me. I
Hmm.
had kind of hit a ceiling at my old place of employment, but something struck me about St. Joseph Parenting Center and their commitment to building up families. The organization is non-judgmental. Our values are such that we love people first,
Hmm.
we respect everyone, and we listen to your concern and help me put together a plan for your family. That appealed to me because I know that I couldn't be where I am if it wasn't for my family. And so I joined the organization in June of 2019, and January of 2020, my dad passed away.
Oh, I'm
And
sorry to hear that.
thank you. And it just, I have fond memories of my dad, and working here just reminds me of the value of having a father present in my life,
Mm.
the value of my mom, who's still alive. She'll be 80 this year. Um, and you don't think about these things until either you don't have them anymore or you see the challenges other people have. So I've been blessed and I'm grateful. And I feel like working here carries out my dad's legacy.
I feel like that resonates so deeply because I too agree. I would not be here without like my parents. As much as in my youth I might have disagreed or been at odds, there's no kind of love or support like the support of like your family. And I think that the service that you guys are offering is absolutely resonates with what we have going on over here. So
Mm,
I kind of want to start diving into the meat and bones of kind of why we're here today. You are heavily invested into crypto. You are very much a crypto fan. Talk
yes.
to me about your stint in crypto, how you got in, why it's so beautiful to you. Give me your story on crypto.
Yeah. So, when I first heard about Bitcoin from my younger brother who lives out in California, he's a tech guru, around 2015. And at that time, it was trading for like $200 a coin.
Mhm.
So he understood the concepts much better than I, but I'm always down for a good investment. And once he exposed it to me, it was like when you buy a car,
Mhm.
you become sensitive to the car that's just like yours. And I kept hearing about this Bitcoin, is it real? Is it fake? And so by the time January 2017 rolled around, it grew from $200 to about $900. So I
Mm.
bought a couple of coins.
Mhm.
And then I learned as much as I could about, digital currency, decentralized blockchain, which is the platform that enables cryptocurrency to happen. Well, by the end of the year, I bought it in January. By December of 2017, it hit like $20,000.
Oh.
I was over the moon. I'm talking about a 2,200% return.
That's looking good.
Yeah. And then Bitcoin in 2022 hit 60,000 a couple of times. So even though it's taking a beating now, that's when you buy the coin. Buy low, sell high.
I agree.
Because if you look at I've become a student of Bitcoin. I mean, I have other coins as well, but when you become a student, you'll see how Bitcoin, that's the historical pattern. So I bought it for 900 in 2017 and went up to 20,000 at the end of the year, and then it crashed down to like 2,000. So then all the naysayers jump back on the bandwagon. It's not real. It's not real. I'm telling you, it's real because I cashed out some of my money and bought a brand new pair of red bottom shoes. So
okay.
So I don't know what they're talking about. But see, too many people underestimate the value of a crash. So it was at 900, then it went to 20,000, then it went to 2,000 and stayed there for a while. Then it climbed up to 60,000. So the highs are getting higher, even though it has these major crashes. It's still
the build up for the highs
20,000. Yeah, exactly. So that's when you understand the cycle, you won't be as nervous when it does crash. And it gives people, people who invested early, they take their profits. And because of the churning effect of people, cashing in their coins, it causes the price to fall. I mean, it's no different than what happens in the stock market. But when you underestimate the value of a crash, then you don't understand the concept of buying low and selling high. People take profits off the top. It slows acceleration growth, giving investors a new buying opportunity at a lower cost. It's an opportunity. It's not a bad day.
Very true.
So this novel experience of buying digital coins became, like I said, real to me when I cashed out a fraction of my coin and bought a new pair of red bottom shoes. And the sobering piece was that I had to pay ordinary income tax on it. So that's how I got involved.
There we go. I love that. Now, as the executive director, as you had already mentioned, there's a lot of people that are very, very skeptical about like the Bitcoin, about cryptocurrency. And you as a woman in power, being the executive director, you said you decided to take and accept crypto donations. How did that come about?
Really two reasons. I mean, one, fundraising has become more and more competitive. I mean, we're not only competing with like-minded mission-driven organizations, we're also competing with the Apples and McDonald's, Wendy's, Netflix, etc. People's time, attention, and money. These large companies spend huge sums of money marketing. And by the end of their commercial, they can get you feeling passionate about a greasy hamburger. So we as nonprofits, we have an intrinsic noble mission, right?
Hold on.
Large corporations,
intrinsic noble
mission. It's built into the organization, whereas large corporations, they have to create a mission for their product or service that emotionally connects their customers to their brand. So, and we fall short on that because we don't want to invest in marketing. And I'm not saying, we don't have the same dollars, and I'm not saying that you compare their marketing budget to a nonprofit, but the opportunity is there for us to get out and vie for those people's time and attention, just like the larger companies. The second reason is that cryptos are here to stay. Or did you want to go back?
No, let's move on. Let's go.
Yeah. So cryptos are here to stay. I mean, if you think about the evolution of money, we've gone from like shells, metal, grain, spices, to gold, to silver, to diamonds, to greenback, to Western Union, to credit cards, to Apple Pay. I mean, we should have seen this coming. It was inevitable.
Yes, I agree. Internet money. Listen, I always relate it to the sense in terms of at least like the value that especially if you grew up or had any kind of participation within a particular era of the internet, and especially if you were like on Farmville, when Facebook had games and everything, we spent lots of money in a digital sense to show digital well-being, especially if you have kids and everything like that. They're on that dang Fortnite and buying skins and all of this stuff, which is a virtual representation of what your physical assets are. And I feel like Bitcoin or cryptocurrency would be no different in that particular aspect. So in terms of accepting it, I'm sure there was some kind of pushback. You mentioned that you have a board. Was there any kind of pushback or fight that you had to do in regards to, you know, making this something that was possible?
Yeah, you know, the biggest thing is that people, what I find is that when people do not fully understand, they understand something, but when they fully don't understand, it's very easy to listen to the noise of the naysayers, right? So we know that and I didn't get much pushback other than the fact that you know, cryptocurrency is like an energy hog, right? So it takes a lot of computers to confirm transactions, which is Bitcoin mining, and it puts a strain on the energies. That was the biggest thing, and we know we're in the day of energy because people are concerned about the well-being of climate.
Very
so
true.
it makes sense. But what they don't understand is that, you know, since Bitcoin, other coins have come out, and these other coins use a lot less energy.
So things progress. We're in the early stages of things. There are going to be inefficiencies as we start moving forward. Things just get more efficient.
Yeah. So that was really the only pushback. And you know, some people are a little skeptical, but I'm grateful that, you know, the board, even though they may not have known all the specific details, they trusted in me.
Okay, actually, I like that. Now, my brother is someone who actually was someone who put me on the crypto. My younger brother actually is absolutely crazy, because he's been dealing into that kind of thing for a different market of reasons. However, I would say nonetheless that it has seemed to have impacted so many people across the spectrum, whether you're very, you know, as you would say, Park Avenue or Park Bench. I'm gonna steal that. I'm gonna steal that saying from you. I like that. I like that.
Free footnote.
So what I would like to ask is what do you feel the impact of crypto donation has on the St. Joseph Parenting Center, and how do you feel that people will be able to interact, or how do you feel that this will impact the St. Joseph Parenting Center by accepting the crypto donations?
We're a growing organization, you know, and we're looking for ways to attract different types of donor. We're in a competition with big branded organizations, other like-minded organizations. So it's another option for us to raise money, but also raise awareness. I mean, 1 in 7 children suffer, according to the CDC, suffer child abuse and neglect. And then they become parents.
That is such a high number. It's, oh my gosh.
And then they become parents. So can you imagine a child who's been traumatized now becoming a parent? What are they passing on to their children? Their traumatic experience. So it's critical that parents have a place, a physical place where they can come and feel loved, feel part of a family, have their needs met, have someone to support them through case management and referral support, such that they can have better outcomes for their kids. It's so important.
I do agree, and especially what St. Joseph's is doing in terms of this particular issue is completely undeniably, you know, worth it. It's something that's needed within the community. Now we've been talking for a little bit of time now. I'm absolutely intrigued by this conversation. So what I'd like to know is, in regards to crypto and in regards to St. Joseph's Parenting Center, what are your visions, or what is your idealistic future in regards to how you are bringing the two together? What do you see happening in the future? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I won't say that I'm a trailblazer, but I am. I am on that train that has left the station. It's
Hmm.
almost like, back in the agricultural days, if you're a successful blacksmith, right?
Hmm.
And then all of a sudden you see a car drive by. Are you going to continue to make horseshoes, or are you going to learn how to make tires?
Mm. Mm.
So that's kind of what I see. I see this as another option for us to expand our brand and to generate revenue for a very, and I am partial, a very worthy cause.
I think that's absolutely beautiful. And we've had such an amazing conversation today. And so before we officially have to go, what we always do is we always ask usually a very particular and pointed question that we think would bring a very impactful response for the audience. And so my question to you is, what is crypto in regards to its worth or even its value proposition, and who can best be on the how do you best get on the receiving end of the value proposition of crypto? How do you get into it? What are, if we don't know anything, how do we get in? Like, what is it even really?
So, I'm not a broker, so I don't give personal advice, but I can share my story.
Hmm.
Um, when I first got into crypto, I got caught up in a different couple of different exchanges and lost money. So now I use Coinbase as my platform to buy and sell crypto.
Hmm.
Um, I recommend that people, you don't have to be a rocket science, but you should. There's a lot of YouTube videos out on cryptocurrency, what it is, what it's not. I would recommend, this is going to be the new money in the future. Everything is going to be digital. And so I recommend that. And what I love about crypto, it gives people who don't have huge means to be able to invest in this resource, and potentially make some really good money. It's an opportunity to kind of flip, um, or tilt the wealth scale so that people at the lower bottom rung of the ladder have an opportunity to invest and make some really, really good money. Again, I'm not going to be a predictor, but I can just tell my story. I took $900, and at one point in 2020, at 2 points in 2021, my $900 grew to over $60,000, which is totally unheard of. But if you think
Mm.
about how fast technology has been changing, you know, if in the 70s or even in the 80s, early 90s, people look how cell phones have just about replaced everything. And it didn't take long.
Right.
So for this technology to be expedited and to grow as fast as it is, it's not unheard of. We see it every day. We just don't make the connection points in terms of dollar value. But there's some coins. I bought some coins. I paid, 5 cents, 10 cents, 20 cents. Ethereum, when Ethereum first came out, I bought it at $50. It's now, I don't know, $1,600.
Mm.
Yeah. So there's opportunity, but I always recommend that you do your homework. You can spend a little bit of concentrated time, get off Facebook and TikTok, spend some concentrated time learning and understanding. It's not that hard. And you can go as deep as you want, or you can go as broad as you want, so that you have a fundamental understanding. And you know, listen, first I'm gonna say buy low and sell high. Right now, Bitcoin is low. You can buy a fraction. You don't have to buy a whole Bitcoin. You can buy $100 worth. That's what I love about Bitcoin. And the other coins as well. You can buy a fraction of it. So if you have a couple of $100, just put it in. See, this is the time because it's at a low. Um, but try it. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. So, but always do your homework.
I love that. Wise words. And the very last question that we always ask people is, where can we find you? St. Joseph's Parenting
Oh,
Center. Where can people walk in? If people enjoy this conversation, if they'd like to have a conversation with you, where can they email, call in, visit? Give us the entire details.
so I'm at So in January of 2022,
Mhm.
we opened up our second center in Danbury, Connecticut. So, and we've got our eye on a couple of other places. So I have to take a breath in
Mm.
between centers. So I'm in between Stanford and Danbury, and I could be in between a third center, but you can reach me at rneal at sjpcenter.org.
Mhm.
That's the best way to reach me.
Okay.
And if
And
you want to make a donation,
where can they
email
make a
me.
donation to? Email, best way?
Just email me, R as in Rhonda, N as in
Actually,
Nancy.
much better. The donation link that we have set, that you guys have set up, will be in the description. So if you guys would love to donate, just make sure you go down to the description below, and you will be able to donate to the St. Joseph's Parenting Center in Danbury and Stamford and maybe somewhere else.
And if you have crypto, you want to donate crypto, you get a beautiful tax benefit.
Oh, speaking of donating crypto, before we get you out of here, give us some details about Giving Tuesday, Crypto Tuesday, that whole shebang. I know we're gonna be all over for this. Let's give me something on that. Give me something on this on Crypto Tuesday, Giving Tuesday. I know that's a huge thing. That's really why we're here right now. So let's talk about that a little bit really quick.
So let me give a little plug. So I'm appealing to people who are parents, who love their children, who have been raised by great parents, right? But if you haven't been,
I got the best mom. I would say best mom in the world.
But if you didn't grow up in a great home life, we have a place for you. You can help us change that for future generations. If you grew up in a wonderful home like you and I, we definitely have a place for you as well. Help us to pay it forward. So again, we can help parents who are struggling with being parents. And then if you have children and you know the complexities, the challenges, the ups and downs and the joys of raising kids, we would love to welcome you to our mission. Those are the people that we're trying to market to and engage in our mission, because you understand the value and the benefit. So on Giving Tuesday, we will be posting on our social media handles. We have Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook about how you can donate your cryptos. You know, we know that most crypto donors are male. Most crypto donors, they're big on education. We're an education organization. We know that they're millennials. So a little bit younger than me, not much, no. And Gen Xers. So we welcome the opportunity for you to first come and learn about our organization. You should not be investing in any organization unless you know about them. And I'd be happy to have a conversation, because I'm so proud of the work that we do. We service about 400 families between Stanford and Danbury, and that is a wonderful thing. I mean, some people are mandated to come, but other people come because they truly want to be better parents. So we invite you to either donate. We accept checks, we accept cash, we accept crypto donations, we accept stocks. We are making ourselves available so that there's no excuse not to receive donations for our wonderful mission.
That's absolutely beautiful. It truly warms my heart to see actual positive causes being taken up and people taking the torch for that. Now, you mentioned donations, but I do want to get into the audience that might be very engaged. Where can they volunteer? If they wanted to say, you know, if they want to take up that torch with you and not just maybe donate money, but also donate time, how can they go about doing that?
We have two types of volunteer, well, actually three types of volunteer organizations. One, if you want to do a drive for like Mother's Day, Father's Day, or Thanksgiving or Christmas, we do holiday drives for our parents. Like I said, we serve about 400 parents, about 350 in Stanford and 50 in Danbury, because it's a newer center. So for the holidays, we do holiday drives. A lot of corporations, they'll get their employees together and put packages together. We love that. Two, you can come and facilitate a class. All of our curriculum is made available. You don't have to come up with your own curriculum. And we look for people to facilitate classes. I use the 2-2-2 model. Come and teach 2 classes 2 times a year for 2 hours, and you'll make a world of difference in the life of a child. And then the other volunteer opportunity is that we need people to come set up, clean up, because we provide meals for our parents every time we have a class. And we have classes anywhere from 2 to 3 times a week at night from 6:30 to 8:30 in Stanford. And well, it could be Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, and then in Danbury on Tuesday night, from 6 to 8. We look for people to come. If you want to cook and bring a meal, or if you want to help us set up and clean up, that would make a big difference to us.
That is absolutely beautiful. I'm glad that we were able to even just do this episode. This has been absolutely wonderful. Okay, I know we're gonna kind of going on a tangent here. Have you guys connected with like the Stanford partnership?
What's that?
So the Stanford partnership they're also a nonprofit, but they work within like the school system in regards to like, I think like music, like in different areas of like nonprofit. And I know a couple of connects there. I definitely think there might be some synergy between what St. Joseph's Parenting Center does and Stanford partnership. And I'd love to make a couple of connections if I might.
Yes. We may know them, but I don't know them. Like I have people on my team who have been around longer than me. They may know, but it hasn't come across my path. So if you have connections, I would definitely follow up and appreciate, making those connections.
I think it'll be something absolutely special, especially since you guys are both in that same area. So I definitely will follow up with that later on that. But this has been an absolutely amazing episode. You guys, all of the details on where to find the St. Joseph's Parenting Center will be in the description. The donate button will be in the description. All of the links in the description. So again, we've had another amazing episode, Ramblers. I think that this has been one of the better episodes because we just love people taking up torches for amazing causes over here. And so I can't wait to see you guys tomorrow. And it's been a wonderful time. I'll talk to you all later. Have a great day.
Hey, Ramblers, that's it. Podcast is over. Don't leave yet, though. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to the podcast. And follow us on YouTube at OffSource HQ. We'll see you next time.